everything else, demand generally leads to increased pay and increased benefits. And right now, the opportunities for very, very lucrative career, high-paying jobs exist in the aviation industry. Multiple six-figure salaries are also possible once you build some experience in the industry. Right now, just like they talk about, this will be the best time to buy a house in your life. You'll never see mortgages this low. In aviation, this is probably one of the best times to be, in your early 20s. You have to be, obviously, like 20, still obtain an air transport license. But if you can get that done and get into the business, you're pretty much going to ride the up wave of this your entire career. There's not a better time to get into this business. We're in a very dire situation in aviation right now. Now, the reason I say that is because we have an acute pilot shortage. We need pilots badly. And I'm talking all the way from the ground floor down at what they call the fixed-based operator level at the private little airports like around here, around Dayton, all the way up to the airline level.
As an industry, we are very, very short on pilots. We're talking at least tens of thousands per year. And it is something that is not going to change anytime soon. We're looking at least 20 years out.
There is a pilot shortage right now. We're living in it. And, it's data shows that in 15 years, 75% of American Airlines pilots will be forced to retire because of the mandatory minimum age of 65 to do so.
We need pilots. Passenger traffic is growing exponentially. There's just not enough guys and gals to crew those cockpits. And we need them. Need them right now as fast as we can get them. That's one of the reasons why the Sinclair program is uniquely positioned. And the PSA relationship is fantastic. Being able to have a flow through, not just for pilots, for aircraft dispatchers, flight attendants. I've taught many flight attendants and dispatchers in numerous courses here.
Yeah, so with PSA, we're growing, and it's incredible. It's awesome. Right now, we currently have 135 jets in our fleet, and we have a growth plan in place to surpass 150. So we're going to be taking in 15 brand new CRJs, and with that just means more pilots. We currently have around 2,000 pilots in our pilot group, so there's definitely going to be a high demand for us. And not only just from, flying the aircraft, that perspective, but there's also going to be a lot of opportunities to get involved outside of the cockpit. So for individuals that want to get involved in training, there's going to be, opportunities to become a sim instructor in the recruiting department. You can get into recruiting, even up to management as a chief pilot. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for PSA. And it makes it even more great because Sinclair is right in our backyard, home headquarters, Dayton, Ohio. So it's just awesome to know that we're going to be able to have pilots
every day. It's hard to keep them away, but getting that need and understanding that this can be something that is a lifelong job, and it's something that is very lucrative and actually affords you a lifestyle that very few other things can give you.
It's a very nice lifestyle. There's the possibility of lots of leisure travel. You can fly for free on the airline that you work for and for other airlines as well. Flexible schedules in terms of when you fly, when you're away from home, when you're working. Lots of other benefits associated with this job. So it's the time to pick a career in aviation.
We also offer a lot of different ways of learning some of the skills you'll need to be a pilot. We have access to simulators that have full motion simulator available at Sinclair that actually helps you learn the skills you're going to need in the airplane on the ground at a much lower rate than actually having to go fly the airplane.
From cost savings side, usually you're looking at, to get a private pilot license, somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000 to $10,000. The next step, going to instrument rating, you're looking at another $5,000 to $8,000, depending on where you're going. Anytime that you can use the facilities like we have here, the Redbird simulators, that's going to knock down your costs substantially. I'm talking thousands of dollars in difference. Whereas other places that don't have that ability, you're stuck. You don't have a choice. You have to rent the airplane because it is all about time with the FAA. And if you don't have the time, you are not even eligible to sit for that test.
Sinclair does help a lot with the cost. They do offer a Redbird simulator and a PCAT simulator. So the Redbird is has actual motion sensing, and the PCAT is more of like sitting at a computer desktop with a little extra features. They do have to be certified by the FAA, and it can count for your instrument hours. So for instrument, the goal is to be able to fly the plane without looking outside, simulating weather, and you can do that on the computer. If you didn't have the simulators, you definitely have to do more hours in the plane, which is more costly.
One of the ways that Sinclair has tried to make our program as cost effective as possible is through the use of simulators. We have two very high-tech simulators that our students can use for a portion of their flight training. They're primarily used in the instruments training phase, where students are learning about how to fly the aircraft in non-visual conditions, in the clouds, in the rain, conditions where the lowest pilot safe, controlled environment, and that really helps our students to save money and to get really important experience that allow them to be safe and effective in the air.
One of the advantages of having a device like this is many other colleges don't really have anything like this. It provides a real world feel applied to flight in a way that you can take lessons in this, save money, apply it to your rating, and get the flight training you need. Now, this is a little bit more specialized because you can pause and play, where in the real airplane, you have to wait, take off again, turn around, where here you can kind of plug and play, drag and drop, and start off where you left off. Say you made a mistake. Okay, you plug and play, drag and drop, start over again, run through the procedure again, you're good to go. Another benefit of this is when the weather is really, really poor outside and you can't get up in the airplane, you just jump into this, you do your flight lessons, get the time, no loss to you, but you still gain the proficiency that you would have had in the airplane. So this is kind of an added benefit, kind of a feather in the cap, I guess you could say, added to the aviation realm, as well as the other devices we have as well.
We use Redbird simulators here, which are simulators that completely comply with all FAA regulations, which means you can do quite a bit of training. When you're inside the trainer, it is a full motion simulator. It does move, so get the sensation of what's going on. At the same time, we can take that simulator and instead of having like an airplane have to fly 30 minutes just to get set up to do a maneuver, we can drive the airplane to that specific location, and we can do 5, 6, 7 runs the same situation that you may have problems with, instead of taking half an hour just to set up every time, which of course makes you, number one, a better pilot, safer pilot, is what you want, and number two, you see 3 or 4 flights where you're spending time with an instructor and paying for an actual airplane. We can rush that up into an hour to a 2-hour session.
So the FAA has come out and looked at every single step of our school. And because of the way that we offer the knowledge and the training, they have approved us to have a much lower number of hours that are required to actually earn your license.
One of the great features of vehicle employment is that you have access to aircraft to get where you need to go. Getting to work. A typical airline employee does not.
Lots of munchies, lots of girls on a turnstile coming in and out of the apartment, but there's definitely sexual tension between the two guys. And it's just beautifully filmed.
You're going to
really
be stationed of multiple different airports around the country.
We always like to have
you don't have to move. You can stay wherever you want to be and just get on that airplane.
It's just
and
more
fly
of
where
a
you
kind
want
of
to go.
prestige
So,
piece.
huge benefits of this particular.
One last
It's very possible for a
I do
person
want
to live
say
in
after
Dayton
the
and
one
work for PSA. It's
Sunday,
actually ideal,
are,
and you will definitely have a great quality of life. So we have several crew bases along the East Coast. However, Dayton is our headquarters, and it's actually one of our most unique domiciles. So it's offers a great quality of life and career growth and development.
Here in Dayton, we have
little time
PSA
off if you're
Airlines
coming to
that's
see all the
headquartered at
films
the
and
Dayton
meet
International
of
Airport.
course.
They're a
But on
local
Sunday we go
employer
right
that
through
is hiring
after
at a very high pace.
so we decided
Over 500
to
pilots a
bring
year
in some
right now.
pizza and have
And
a little
they
pizza
would take every one of our
for
graduates.
show. So
as
I'm
soon as
happy
they're
about that
available, it's
addition
like
this year.
So
Because then at
we're
6
both meeting a
o'clock we
local
went to
need
Straight
and
Up,
a
which is
worldwide
a
need. Literally,
narrative
for
film, very sharp, funny film about a young man trying to figure out his
5 different
sexuality.
aviation programs that we
And
deal with.
everyone kind of
Training
reads him as
special
gay just
pilots
because
for
he's
airplanes,
got a lot of
helicopters,
stereotypical
aircraft
attributes
maintenance,
of a
unmanned
gay
aerial
man,
systems
but
over
he's pretty
drones.
certain
We
that
also
he's
have
not
flight
gay.
attendant programs.
And yeah, that was a
We've
little
got
frustrating
a
to
broad
some of
spectrum
our
of
committee
aviation
members who
programs
thought,
for
like,
the
why isn't
most
he
diverse
just
and form
out?
of
I mean,
aviation in
he's
Ohio.
clearly
We've
gay,
got partnerships
another
with
voice
PSA,
on the
working
committee said,
relationships with other
well,
companies in the
to
area as well
really be
for replacement of jobs.
addressing the
We've got
fact
40
that
degrees
those
coming for unmanned aerial
stereotypes are
systems and flight
stereotypes,
training. There are
and
going to be some
that
benefits,
sexual
especially for those
fluidity
students that
and
go for the long run.
bisexuality,
We're going to give you,
there's a lot of
for
possibilities out there, and
ROTC
it's not just
specifically, if
either
you're
or.
in for a year,
Jonathan, it looks like
you get
another stellar lineup.
$30,000
I know
scholarship, which
festival
can
passes
potentially
and
cover your first
individual
year
film
at St.
tickets
Clair.
are
And then
already on
that's
sale.
one less
How
year on
can,
off the
people
load,
take
and
part
then
either?
and you'll be ready to
Well,
rock and
I'm
roll.
sorry to say passes are sold out already. We put more passes on sale than ever before, and they sold out in no time this year. Within 48 hours, 75 passes sold out. So
Having
we
the
put
bachelor
75 on
degree
sale just
program is
because
huge.
we want to make
It
sure that people can see
absolutely puts
individual
us in the
films,
number. It
and
puts us
we
with
also know that some
Embry
people are
Riddle,
just there
puts
to
us in the
support and
neighborhood
buy a
of
pass, even if they're
University of
not
North
going to come
Dakota.
see all the
All of,
films. We want to make sure that
since
we
most
really
of you
have a
may not
handle
know,
on
those are
knowing
the
how
big
many
ones. Those are
single
the people
seats we have
that break
available.
out.
So
The airlines, and that's
single
what the
tickets
airlines
are on sale. They're
recruit.
still available
I'm
for
talking
all shows at this
the
time.
big ones. United,
DaytonLGBT.com is the website.
Looking forward to about to
And
offer
you can see trailers and read about each of the films and
and
read about
this is
all
going
of
to
our
bring
amazing
an
sponsors.
additional level
We could
of
not do this
education
without
to our
sponsorship
students.
from
And
numerous
it
businesses
increases their
and
credentials
organizations
to the
around
point
town.
that it is more
Friday
attractive
night
to
ticket
airlines
for Circus
in
of
the
Books
general
gets you
sense.
into
It's
the
going to
Friday
build
night
their
after
flying
party,
time
which
that
is
they're
complimentary
acquiring while
appetizers
they're
and
in
booze,
an educational
a great movie,
college
more than
mindset.
likely a Skype
And
with the
ultimately, it's going to
director,
also
and then
reduce
a
the number
party
of hours
afterwards. So
that they
there's
have to
really
fly
no better
in
ticket.
order to be able to
Great,
get
Jonathan. Thanks so much, man. Good luck with
get
the
approval from the FAA
Thank you so much. I appreciate your
to
help.
reduce those hours. So
Jonathan
the
McNeil with
combination
the
of the
Neon
increased
Movie Theater.
credentials,
The festival
lower
runs
number of
October
flight hours
10th through the 13th, and you can do a full interview with McNeil on our website at WQISO.org.
I think St. Clair
Jerry,
is
Kenny,
great.
this is what's in
I love it. It's a very family-oriented culture, I like to say. Here at PSA, our five imperatives are safety, reliability,
This is
passion,
Bill Felker
and
with
professional excellence as far as respect. And every time I go to that campus, I see that embodied in that student organization. So I really feel like their perspective really aligns with PSA's imperative.
I had a great career. It was almost unique in that I was able to fly virtually the entire career, stay in the cockpit, and fly a variety of Air Force heavy transport airplanes over the planet. So my experience was basically a dream come true. I couldn't have asked for a better result from following my passion, basically. So right now, I'm really thrilled to be here at Sinclair, being able to pass on some of that experience that I have and hopefully my passion for aviation to my students.
Sometimes the specific time of year hinged on the number of fragile cottonwoods along the roadsides or the advance of the red Virginia creek, so the number of fading boxwoods, cantaloupes, sycamores, sweet gums, or locusts, hackberries, maples, or oaks in any division. Each species following its own calendar. I uncovered micro-seasons.
Great news, honey. The roof is finally leaking.
Finally getting a new roof.
At Beazle, we know that replacing your roof isn't this exciting. We also know that there's never an ideal time. When the timing is right for you, we will always offer a lifetime warranty, price match guarantee, 12-month savings cash financing. You won't find another roofing company that can offer all three. Schedule your free inspection today at PisaLink.com.
Hi, Rhett Reichard here for Reichard View, an amazing deal just like this.
Shave up to $7,608 off 2019 Buick Concours.
Visit us today and get it Reichard the first time.
Dinosaurs come alive! Embark on your Jurassic adventure with the largest moving, breathing, walking dinosaur. More fun, hands-on, educational activity for the entire family. Ride the giant 12-foot T-Rex. Take the exhilarating virtual reality ride. Play with a baby T-Rex that's on the loose. Dinosaurs come alive. September 28th and 29th in Springfield, Clark County Fairgrounds. For military discounts, tickets, and more info, visit myjurassicadventure.com.
All the local news and weather tools you'll need together in one place. Visit WDTN.com. The following paid commercial program does not reflect the opinions and views of Nexstar Broadcasting Incorporated, this station, or their employees and affiliates. The following is a paid presentation for LifeLock with Norton, paid for by Samantha. Angie Harmon is known for her television roles as a lawyer and detective, but like the rest of us, in her real life, she's concerned about identity theft. Today, she's going to help us learn how it happens and how we can help protect ourselves.
Look around. Everywhere we go, we're all on our phones and laptops. We shop, bank, fill out forms and applications, all online. We give away our names, birthdays, passwords, even our social security numbers. In the connected world we live in, our personal information is everywhere. What happens if that information becomes of identity thieves?
Somebody used my identity to rent an apartment. They skipped out on the rent. $24,000? That's a lot of money.
I was a victim of ransomware. I was too afraid to go back.
The fact that someone has all of my personal information and gets away with it is horrifying.
Your information is in a lot of places. Your protection should be too. That's why LifeLock now includes the power of Norton for even more protection for your identity and your devices, where so much of your personal information lives.
Identity theft is more than just crooks making charges on your credit card. When a criminal has your personal information, they can do all sorts of things in your name. Take out loans, file tax returns, buy property. They can even give your name if they're arrested.
When the trooper pulled me over and told me there is a warrant for you, it was horrifying. I'm going to have to go to jail in front of my daughter's school for something that I didn't even do.
Every day, cyber criminals around the world find new ways to steal identities. They can breach companies that store your data, and they can steal your information directly from your devices, often without you knowing it.
LifeLock with Norton now includes critical protection for both your identity and your devices. When LifeLock sees your information being used, they'll alert you, and if there's a problem, they'll work to fix it. And now, with the added power of Norton Security, they help block thieves from stealing information on your devices, stopping threats like ransomware, spyware, and more. Stay with us and hear real members tell you why LifeLock with Norton works for them, including talk show legend and classic car collector Jay Leno.
The best thing about LifeLock with Norton is it works. You'll get a notification. Hey, take a look. Oh, what's this? Then you call them up and they do the follow through on it. And the most important part, you talk to a real person. And that's what works for me.
Today, we're going to take a close look at the world of identity theft and how cyber criminals can attack your identity and your personal devices, so you can understand where you may be at risk and learn how to help protect yourself.
Think of your devices as being doorways into your life. When cyber criminals gain access to those doorways, they can exploit you and wreak havoc in ways that you may not ever anticipate.
This is organized crime. It's just moved from the real world into the virtual world. It's someone getting onto your computer and trying to steal your information, your data. They're trying to make money off of you.
Identity theft is a profitable crime with very little consequences, so the epidemic of identity theft is not going away. And look at how it gets me wafted right into the mix. That is starting to look like a hole.
Just in recent years, since the sinister element.
A murdered beauty's twin sister on a mission.
There was a dealer. It was pretty shady guy.
Crime Watch Daily joins her search.
At this point, we're trying to just cinch in that timeline.
In pursuit of a killer. Every time she looks in the mirror, Jenny Carreri is haunted by her loss. For 20 years, she's mourned the death of her sister, a pretty, vivacious 23-year-old named Jody.
I can't tell you how many nights I've laid in bed thinking about it and what was she doing, what was going on.
Jody was murdered, shot in the back in cold blood. No one knows who did it. Jenny cannot rest until she finds out.
I have been contacting reporters, sending out her poster, videos, social media. I come into the news stations. I'll do anything.
And for the age, she may be closer than ever.
I've got some new information that I hadn't heard before.
Back then, they both shared the last name LaCourney, but they also shared much more. Same eyes, same smile. Jenny and Jody were identical twins.
Who was born first? She's 2 months older.
Yeah.
She was the older one.
Yeah.
Always bossed you around.
Yeah. I looked up to her even though she was 2 months older.
To their friend, Jenny was the bookworm, Jody the bubbly one.
If there were some words to describe Jody, what would they be? The life of the party, attention, definitely. Really outgoing, really happy, lots of fun.
She was basically just enjoying life. She wasn't very serious, and she was sort of about having fun.
But on the night of March 2nd, 1996, their bond was broken forever.
Did your sister have any enemies?
Not that I know of.
None that she told you about?
But I know she was afraid living in Baltimore. And it's kind of a scary place sometimes.
That morning, Jenny says Jody had a final breakup with her live-in boyfriend. He told her not to come home. She didn't. She spends the night telling her sorrow, closing down this local hotspot, Mount Washington Tavern.
So it's snowing. The bar is booked. She's mad at her boyfriend, and she's hanging out in her car in the parking lot.
Yeah.
For an hour after leaving the tavern, Jody sits in her car with a six-pack of beer, making late-night phone calls. At 3:40 in the morning, a white BMW, witnesses say similar to this one, stops close by. While she was in the parking lot, the suspect approaches the car. Witnesses from a nearby business watch in horror as the night suddenly explodes in gunfire. What we do know is the suspect produces a weapon, fires one shot into the back of the car, which goes into the driver's seat near Jody's back. Terrified and bleeding, Jody hits the gas, barrels out of the lot.
Except for her spine, but she was able to drive across the street.
Jody's car careens across 5 lanes, coming to a stop outside a 24-hour mark. She survived long enough to get over to the other parking lot. Then an act that can only be described as heartless and sinister. He follows her over, but she's there basically dying. And he's seen Regina Bud taking something up.
What did he take? That's what they say is the key to the case, is what he took out of her purse.
And he goes to his own car, gets in, drives out of the parking lot south on the road. Police have eyewitnesses, surveillance from nearby businesses, and a description of the shooter. An African-American male, in his 20s to his 30s, 220 pounds, wearing a green fatigue jacket. Investigators also collect evidence from Jody's car.
They have fingerprints, but they haven't been able to match it up. They have several suspects. They have videos.
Hours after the murder, Jenny called Jody's home number, the twins' daily ritual. This time, there wouldn't be an answer. Her beloved sister was dead.
Your whole body was getting in shock. You can't even feel anything. You're numb.
It's a shocking public murder with a lot of leads and too many puzzling questions. The mystery kind of figure, why did she go directly and buy something? Why did she go to that particular shopping center so close to her house and then just sit there? And what was it the killer snatched from her car? Jenny has been asking these questions for decades, and now someone who knew her sister gives Jenny information that could lead to answers.
somebody that she suspected from the tavern that she thought we should look into.
But the search for Jenny's murderer could lead to dark and dangerous places. Coming up, Jody's final phone calls provide disturbing clues.
What they said is that she called and asked for some drugs, cocaine.
And a man from Jody's past could get us one step closer to her killer.
The person who may be involved is a dangerous guy.
Oh, yes. I mean, we always do. You never know what you're going to have when you find that scene.
Never murder happened to everybody's standards. No witnesses, no calls, no 911. Could be anybody.
Starting September 30th on the new Cocaine Mystery. Join the investigation.
Oh, damn it.
Do you have any symptoms ever?
Identical twin sister down some dark and often scary roads. But she tells our Michelle Seguna she believes they are